Boom, right there, Toro 7000 series. We're going to do a review on it today. Toro diesel mower, 60-inch turbo force deck. Right up front, I want to tell you, this is one of the strangest things I think about it. This is a 2006 model. I have a dealer 5 minutes from my house. I went and looked at them today. They've got one. Besides the seat, they keep the seat on these like 3D rubber mounts. I could not tell one difference between the two. A 19 model versus a 2006 model. D902 motor, the pump setup. It's got a separate pump and wheel motors. That all looks the exact same. Pump setup. I mean, everything looks identical. The decaling, everything. This one right here has got, how many hours are on it? 1,037 hours. Right up front, I'm going to start with the first thing, the biggest complaint on the mower. I'll show you. Let me get this thing off. While I'm getting this off, I'll say a plus is it's very easy to work on. I've pretty much had this mower completely apart. I mean, down just about to the frame. I just, sometimes I guess I got a little thing and I like tinkering, and, you know, you got two little kids. Sometimes you want to get out of the house, but but my first complaint, on another note, this oh golly, the clutch belt, which is right, it goes on that pulley. You can see it in between there. Not the pump belt that drives your pump, but the clutch belt that goes from your PTO clutch down to the deck gearbox that turns it. So these mowers came with two little belts on it. Okay, and they will still sell two little belts to replace it. You don't want that. You want one big belt, and that's what this got. They've got a replacement part to replace it. Your dealer should go ahead. I don't have the part number off the top of my head, but your dealer should go ahead and give you this. If you're looking at one of these mowers, and right here, the PTO belt is two smaller belts, count on replacing that. About $80, $87, I think, $83, which is crazy for a belt. But if you got the two little belts, as soon as you get in any thick grass, it will start to slip and whine, and it'll pop them belts off like that. When I first got this mower, I went through 2 sets in 30 minutes, and I said, this is crazy. I mean, I was like, if this big old diesel mower can't cut thick grass, got all this diesel torque, and it's going to pop belts like that in thick grass, what's the good of it? I mean, it's only as strong as the weakest link. They found that updated part number. I talked to my dealer, and they have had an update, this one thick belt, and have not had an issue since. You can stall the motor out from, going in thick grass, and it will not slip. So that is number one. Number two, I guess since I started on that, I'll just start with the very few things I don't like about this mower. And it's not something I would say I just flat out don't like, but the radiator system, it could have been better. If it's not clean, like I just mowed the yard once, it's pretty dry, and it's got this, it will overheat. And I shut it off quick. It's got to be clean. I mean, I don't know if it's just that they just got it on the brink of adequate air, and if it gets clogged at all. I was trying to bring that up, but I'm kind of stalling. There we go. The radio's sitting on top, electric fan underneath, and so it's sucking the air from the back. It's already kind of on an uphill battle, just drawing air from that direction. And if it gets clogged, and this is one mowing, I vacuumed it out yesterday, and so it lets quite a bit of grass in from the bottom, and so I just vacuum it out every time. If I do that, you won't have an issue. If you go a few mowings without doing that, my experience has been it will overheat. You hear that idiot light go off, it'll sound like, it'll get real loud. Shut it off, do that, shouldn't have an issue. My last complaint with the mower, and these are the only issues I have had, are this one's been a big headache. These fuel tanks have tiny little screens in them. Okay, there's your pickup right there. They clog so easy. And if you got one of these mowers and it's experienced a rough idle and low power under load, and it's diesel, it's got to have air and fuel, and it's pretty much going to run. And this is your problem. These screens are tiny. I pulled them out. I pulled the tanks. tiny, I mean, just tiny screens get clogged up so easy. So that's been a big, it'll clog you. You get any dirty fuel, it will clog. I've had to clean the tanks 3 times. I mean, any little bit of debris, so if you got the mower and you're getting diesel fuel, go to a station that is used regularly and has got busy tanks that are kept clean and upkept. Because if you go to some little shade tree fuel station down whatever middle of nowhere town, man, every few fill ups it's gonna start running rough. It's not getting any fuel. You're not getting any fuel. But everything else is real easy to get to. Change fuel filters, lift pump, of course, and you should be fine. All right, positives. What are the positives with this mower? Well, I love Toro just right off the bat. I love the Turbo Force deck. The Turbo Force deck, in my opinion, cuts about as clean. It leaves about as good of a first cut appearance as any other mower I've ran, as far as cutting up the clippings, side discharging, laying it out nice and pretty. It doesn't stripe as heavy as I'd like. Exmark Skags certainly stripe heavier, but it does a good job. It gets pretty dry right now. Not really any stripes right now, but I got gator blades on it right now. But I mean, one pass, it's clean. Cuts real clean, thick grass. Another thing I love about this Turbo Force deck, well, just a few things. I actually do use the baffle. It's covered in grass right now. I use the baffle 7000 series. I think 6000 series too, but you can add them. It's real simple on any of them. Because the other ones you have to ratchet this. It's got a bolt you ratchet to loosen. This is just got the quick pop-up. Pop those up. This baffle right here, you can move it in to make the mouse smaller, to increase the throw, increase the suction. It's got this lip right here to keep grass for exactly that reason. See, it keeps grass from going in your pulley. Big bull nose front end. Hit anything is just strong 7 gauge, well built. Of course, this lifts up. Everything's easy to get to. Belts. All right, y'all, we're gonna finish this up in my truck. I end up having to run, but the Toro's a well built mower. It's heavy metal, heavy steel, thick welds. I've never had an issue, anything like that. I had a couple pulleys, spindles, but nothing out of the ordinary. I love the cutting platform. I love that Turbo Force cut. I've had good success with it. The comfort, it's a fixed frame mower. It's nothing special. I love torque. Mine's old. It's had a replaced seat, but the new seats on the Toro are excellent. The 3D mounts, it's very comfortable. I ran them. Those are very comfortable if you're looking at a newer one. But like on mine, it's nothing. It's comfortable enough. It's nothing special. It's fixed frame, no suspension pretty much whatsoever, just in the seat. But it does good. I love the Kubota. And certainly you can tell it's not as heavy built as my Kubota 1211, but I mean, you can tell it's been shoehorned into a Toro platform, where the Kubota the 1211 was built all in unity. It's electric PTO. I don't like any electric PTO. By far my favorite feature on a Kubota is a wet disc clutch. It just seems much more commercial and heavy duty. Any electric PTO mower, you pop it when the thing jumps on, even at half throttle, how you're supposed to do it, just doesn't seem like a great design. It kind of seems like something broken. But, it is what it is. Lots of hoses, lots of rubber belts, wearable stuff, but it's very easy to work on. I've had great success with mine. Sibs fuel, the D902, it's got enough power, but it's got enough power. I'm able to cut pretty much what I want. I can cut anything, but it might just take me some time. I've ran the big Vanguard motors, the 35, 37 EFI Vanguard motors. They have more power than that 25 horse diesel. They got more torque too. I have demoed a 31 Kawasaki. I think it's a 902V, something like 901. I'll double check, but it feels about like that. The torque down low. It runs 60 inch really good, and But the big plus for the diesel to me is, number one, the hours. You take care of that Kubota motor, you'll get 3,000 plus hours easy. It's easy to change the oil. It's like changing it in a car. It's just, drain plug on the bottom and the oil fill cap on top. Give it clean fuel. Keep it, don't let it overheat like that. You got to keep the radiator sucked out. That's on any of them. You got to keep it cool and keep your air filter clean. It sucks in, it's going to score in your cylinder walls if you let a bunch of dust and debris through. People that don't ever change their air filters, you end up having blow by it. It's not from actual engine wear, from the it's gotten that wear in those grooves, and it's not the ring wearing necessarily, it's the grooves in the cylinder from sucking in and getting crap in your combustion chamber, and so it'll cause premature wear there. Keep clean air filters in it and change fluids, and you'll have no issues, and it just sips. That's why I like the diesel. I really like that diesel Toro. I've had great success. They're kind of rare. A lot of people like at my dealer, they're insanely overpriced. We'll go back to the price point. I think my dealer's got them they're north of $17,000. That's insane, absolutely insane. I would not pay that for it. Especially, again, like I said, I cannot tell the difference. If someone knows, please comment, list some specific differences. Mine's a 2006 model. Can tell one difference between the 2019 sitting at my dealer. Besides the seat, I could not tell the difference. I'm sure there's got to be something, but it ain't no $17,000 difference. I actually picked mine up for $3,500. It needed a little work. It was just a little stuff. A pulley was getting real worn. The bushing, the belt was worn. The screens had to be clean. It was kind of lagging, but small stuff. And I'm going to pay for 1,000 hours. I'm going to pay $3,500 for that all day versus going to a box store. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to get a big chunk. I wasn't going to finance. I wasn't going to get another $10,000 plus mower, and so I went that route and found it on Craigslist. You can find them on Craigslist. They're kind of rare. People like to hang on to them, but you can get pretty good deals on them. $3,500, I think, is a really good deal on that. That's why I snatched it up. It was about 2 hours away, and I called, went the next morning and got it. You can find them pretty regularly between 45 and 65, and they're good mowers at that price point, absolutely. So y'all take care. I hope this has helped. I tried to help y'all any way I can. I'm going to have an update. I'm sitting in the 9812 valve. If you like Cummins diesels, keep in touch with me there. Follow me, so we'll update everything. So y'all take care. God bless, and I'll see y'all later.